evening and welcome to another edition of Buy PNG Made. This week we feature leading manufacturer of plastic products, industrial chemicals, paper products, cooking oil and household consumer goods, K.K.Kingston. Now K.K.Kingston was founded in Lae in 1972 by K.K.Kingston and his wife Judy. From humble origins, K.K.Kingston has grown to become one of the largest manufacturing companies in Papua New Guinea. This is K.K.Kingston.
Started off by selling machinery and tools, machine tools, woodworking machinery and sawmilling machinery. And then that business grew and we added a lot of smaller lines to supplement those products. And we started to supply chemical products which we fully imported. And then we found that there was a lot of damage being done on the wharves because it was pre-container. So then we moved into manufacture of chemicals. Then we found we needed to make plastic containers. So we bought a machine to make plastic containers and I guess it just grew over time. You could say that in many ways we're extremely diverse and there are not necessarily linkages between the different products, but there are. The plastics products that we manufacture, we sell to customers outside, but substantially the products that we make are used internally within our chemical making business, our oil packaging business. The market previously was very much dominated by imported products. When we first entered into the bleach market with Dazzle, we had competitors from overseas trying to take us to court for trying to do the wrong thing in the market by using a bottle similar to theirs. But we managed to work around all those things, and over the years we've survived and adapted to meet the market demands and the competition. As we could afford to do something new and we could see an opportunity to expand into that, then that's how it came about. Some of it was driven by requests from customers, also looking at new technologies which are available elsewhere in the world. For instance, tougher tanks. We were the first to really manufacture plastic water tanks in Papua New Guinea and everybody thought we were crazy. But I guess we were right because now there's 5 manufacturers in the country and we're all manufacturing plastic tanks and there are very few galvanized iron tanks left in the market.
Rotational molding is basically the process which we manufacture hollow water storage tanks, and that's on the open flame as you've seen. All the molds and the machines are running. The other machine you've seen is the oven, which is more to do with non-tank products. So you see we produce school desks, pallets, patrol boxes and all that non-tank products. We've been in the industry for 18 years, and the challenge that have come up about in the last 2 years is competition. And that's what we've done is we've got the benchmark set higher, and now we've been accredited to ISO 9001 and AS/NZ 4766. And for rotational molding, AS/NZ 4766 sets the benchmark and takes us a step further than the rest. So that's more to do with Australian and New Zealand water tank standards. And the standard is the same as what's applied in Australia and New Zealand. So basically what you see here, all the requirements, all the work instructions, procedures, quality control systems, they're the same as those you can find in the same sort of setup in Australia and New Zealand.
So we started that whole process maybe 5 years ago now, and the goal was obviously to make us a better company, and we saw ISO 9000 as being a mechanism where we could build a platform of stable processes, stable repeatable processes, which we could then tune up and optimize and improve over time.
We oversee the compliance of the organization to the international standard like ISO 9000, 2008 quality management system, and we also compliance to ES 4766, that's product certification for polyethylene storage tank and chemical. We oversee the product quality to make sure it complies to the product specification, and we make sure customer complaints are properly handled and addressed, and make sure we also comply to our set quality policy and the safety policy as well.
I think the first thing that needs to be done, and I've said this for many, many years, is that Papua New Guinea needs a manufacturing industry. It's a large employer of people. If you look at for every million or $1 billion invested in mining, the number of people employed is really quite low. But if you took the same amount of money and were to invest it in the manufacturing sector, you would find you probably employ 10 or 20 times as many local people. And to me, that's where the government should be having some focus. I think there has been a lack of understanding perhaps, or lack of will to really recognise manufacturing as a vital part of the overall structure of PNG society. The manufacturing has a rightful place in the PNG economy, and for instance, about 16 or 17 years ago, the manufacturers agreed to what was known as the VAT and Tariff Reform Program, and that was a structured reduction of tariffs, protective tariffs if you like to call them that. And in return for that, the government agreed that it would undertake certain reforms within its area of responsibility. And when we did a review some 5 years after that, so that was back in 2004, we found of all the things that the government was required to do, they had accomplished absolutely zero. And I think if we were to review that list today, you would probably find that we've achieved almost zero. So again, it's this recognition of the manufacturing sector and a willingness to apply energy to making the changes that are necessary to give manufacturing a real boost in PNG. We employ about 800 people. And if you use the fairly well accepted statistic that for every person that has a job, they provide support to 5 more people. So therefore, we affect probably 5,000 or 6,000 people in Papua New Guinea. And I think that's vitally important, particularly during the current economic situation in PNG, that we need to give recognition to the contribution that the manufacturing sector makes to the overall economy of PNG. Now, that doesn't matter whether it's canned tuna or Dazzle bleach or toilet tissue or locally made biscuits or whatever it happens to be. Each and every one of those industries or manufacturers employs a number of people, and you apply the multiplier factor to that, and you're talking probably hundreds of thousands of people who rely upon the manufacturing sector in some way for a benefit, whether that's a cash benefit into their pockets, or our sub-suppliers, such as transport companies, people who make cardboard boxes, or the shipping companies. All of those people, there's a flow-on effect to those companies, and of course their employees.
It's a problem that not just PNG has struggled with, and it's not also just about manufacturing, it's about every industry aside from extractive industries. I think they first started talking about it internationally in the 50s after the Dutch discovered gas in the North Sea. The short answer is policy. There's a number of steps that the government needs to take in order to not avoid this crowding out effect created by resource wealth. First one is setting up a sovereign wealth fund overseas. Makes a lot of sense. It sterilises the funds, if you like, and prevents some of the negative effects of major inflows of foreign currency into the market all in one hit. The second thing, of course, is the government needs to think about what it's going to do with this windfall money. And the countries who have successfully spent or invested these windfall proceeds, or boom proceeds, if you like, are the ones that have succeeded in the long term. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of examples of that. Norway is the one that everyone usually touts as being the leading example of this. And what countries like Norway have done is invested money into things like infrastructure, basic healthcare, education, getting all the basics right.
I think there needs to be greater dialogue between the manufacturing sector and government. I think people go on overseas trips and they see wonderful manufacturing sites in Indonesia or Malaysia or China, and they think, oh, wouldn't that be wonderful? But there is nobody who really knows how to begin that process within Papua New Guinea. We shouldn't be trying to fly to the moon. We should be trying to be realistic about what our achievements are and enable those companies that are here to have the so-called level playing field that enables us to grow and to invest and employ more people and create opportunities internally within PNG rather than be importing products. People skills, logistics, shipping, power supply, security, all the things that still exist in the market today. Yes, those problems are still with us. Unfortunately, the education systems here in Papua New Guinea tend to favour sort of the mining and extractive industries, and they don't really train people for the manufacturing sector. And that's sad because there are many opportunities to employ people, but the people with the suitable qualifications and experience are just not available from within Papua New Guinea. And we have quite a large number of people here who are from overseas, but they bring with them the skill set that we need to train our own Papua New Guinean people internally, rather than bringing them from education establishments who have trained them specifically for these manufacturing sectors.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy PNG Made. For a little over 40 years, K.K.Kingston has continuously employed Papua New Guineans. Currently, the company employs over 840 staff, 98% of whom are Papua New Guinean.
Well, our employees are our number one resource, a number one cost, and a number one reason for success or failure. So the way we grow and develop our employees is critical to our success today and 5 years down the track. And we think we do it in a slightly different way than most people. There's the obvious internal training thing, which I guess you saw with forklift operators. There's training done by external third-party providers, which everyone does. The other part also, I think, is the ISO 9000 process. So because we're regularly reviewing processes and the way we do things, we ask the question, well, why do we do it this way? Why do these steps exist in this process? And very often you'll get a lot of good feedback or input from the employees to say, well, we could do it this way. We could change it like this and it would make things better. And that involvement of the employees in this process of continuous improvement, I think, is also a big opportunity to improve and develop as individuals.
My name is Paul Watcham. I've been with K.K.Kingston for almost 23 years. I started work with K.K.Kingston in 1992, December 24, as an operator. Then worked my way up till today. I'm the factory superintendent in paper factory. Factory superintendent means, looking after the operation of the factory. Under the command of my manager is on top of me, and I am looking the production line, like planning, organizing staff, and material, whatever in the operation. When I start up, like the operator, he sent me to school, the short courses, and helped me for running the factory. So I'm quite happy to stay with K.K.Kingston, and at least I give my time and family happy.
My name is Matthew Caleb. Currently, I'm the sales manager for the industrial sales here in Port Moresby. I have been with the company for about exactly 25 years this year. In April this year, 25 years. It has been a long time. 25 years for me is half my life. I turn 50 this year. and 25 years is half my lifestyle. So it has been a very long time. I guess the question is probably loyalty, yes, but to be with a company for this long, somebody really has to be this company for that long just to be in there. There's a lot of things. I got a chance to see the company develop from where it was to what it is now, and I think that's the only thing that's within me. I knew what the company was doing years ago, and I know what it is doing now. And to go from there to here, I think I'm in a better position to see what we have done in the past, what we're doing now, and what we can do for the future. The company has allowed me to grow as a person within the company, to up the different ranks, up to now the sales manager. I didn't do any training outside. I was just bred and born within. So I started with the company, saw what they were doing, built my way up to where I am now. PNG Made is good for the country because we produce it locally. All right, it's a local product, and it is good for the people. It's good for the nation. It's good for the people who are employed. The company employs over 800 people. That's a lot of people to give jobs to. Without this company, 800 people will be out there without a job.
In my mind, employment growth, job growth, is one of the single greatest challenges that faces PNG. And it's a problem partly to do with this resource curse, where we're so dependent on extractive industries. We often hear a lot of dialogue in the public discourse about law and order problems. We don't actually really have a law and order problem in PNG. What we have is an employment problem. If everyone had a job, then you wouldn't have these law and order issues that we're talking about. So we're talking about a symptom rather than the cause. We've got to start dealing with the cause, which is a lack of job creation for Papua New Guinean people.
And that's all we have for you tonight. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Buy PNG Made. Until next week, remember that when you buy locally, the money stays in the country and the economy grows. Give back to your community by buying PNG Made goods and services. I'm Leon Jarari, and this was Buy PNG Made.